Hey guys, it's Tommy CM. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Let's Build Alton Towers. You joined me here on the Sky Ride just as we're coming over the Dark Forest. Obviously in the last episode this is what we put in. We put in the Sky Ride, we put in the Burger Kitchen, the Alton Towers dungeon, and we made a start on Cloud Cuckoo Land. Here we are, just getting a nice little shot over Rita there. Before we get down towards the station. These guys are loving it, as you can see. There's the view the other way. You can just see Hex in the background there. Really liking how this is all coming together now. You know, this really does have the Alton Towers feel about it, I think. And then obviously over there we've got the we've got 13, so that you can just see in the distance. No train just there yet. But yeah, so that's where we got up to, shall I say? And if I carry on down this way, you'll see the physical evidence of where I got up to. So yeah, Burger Kitchen, Dungeon, Chair Swing, and Ice Age 4D. So they were the attractions went in last time. This episode is finishing off this area. And when I say this area, I mean this map as well. Nothing more will be going into this map after this is completed. So obviously, if you've been following from the very start of this series, first of all, thank you very much for doing so. Secondly, you will know that obviously we built the entrance, built the CBeebies land. I'm just trying to kind of mime whereabouts this is in relation to this part of the park. But yeah, CBeebies land, Spinball Wizard, and then we went over to X Sector, which was the Smiler and Oblivion. And then if you came up this way, you would get to the towers, and this is the next area. So yeah, very close to completing map number 2. Now I'm not 100%. I'm only on 61, and that will change obviously by the time I put a few more rides in. But it won't be. It's not because I can't fit any more in this map. It's just because the shape of Alton Towers, it doesn't make sense for me to work on anything else, because this is kind of the top corner of the park, really. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to be doing in this episode, is completing Cloud Cuckoo Land and completing map number 2. So yeah, join me shortly when I've made a bit of progress. Okay, so update number 1. As you can see in here, Venetian Carousel. I regret putting this in at the moment. I will be honest, because as I'm building all around this area, all I can hear going off 24/7 is this Venetian Carousel music. It is constant, and I am debating turning the music off just while I build, because you can hear it just here. This is all I get while I'm trying to build. Very, very, very irritating, but you know, it needed to be done. So yeah, little Venetian Carousel in the middle there. As we go over here, I've just kind of extended this building out. There's a little like pipe work into like a space rocket up there. So yeah, I will be fully decorating out the front of these buildings. The buildings don't go anywhere; they're more like facades. So they are just going to be like the front of a building. But yeah, I will carry on doing that. The fenced off bit down here. This is a frog hopper, very similar to the one I built in the CBeebies land area. So that will be going in there. I've obviously got to build a frog hopper because there isn't one in the game. So that'll be like a just like a bespoke ride, as opposed to any ride in the game that the guests can use, unfortunately. And then the big task for the area is this is the driving school. Now the driving school is it's a child friendly driving school. You know, you have to be under a certain height to go on it. It is aimed for young drivers. It used to be sponsored by Peugeot, I believe. And yeah, essentially just go around different roads. They can go whatever direction they want. Obviously on this I've had to put in a track for them. But what I have tried to do, as you can see here, is just kind of overlap different bits of track. So I can put down different floor symbols, like the arrows here in pedestrian crossings. And just before I give you this update, I just wanted to kind of start off the theming of it, just to show you sort of what to expect. So over here, obviously, we've got the lollipop lady, we've got the pedestrian crossing, we've got this red fence going all the way around. So yeah, that's the sort of stuff that's going in. I will be putting in lots of different arrows, lots of different symbols to fully theme this bit out. This will be the time-consuming task, because I can tell you now that placing this red metal railing all the way around is not a quick task. But I will do it because I know that. I mean, even on the bits there that it's already done, I think that looks great, and I will be obviously completing that. So yeah, that's where we are now. In the middle of the islands, there's like different bits of trees and stuff. So I will. Oh, I've just come through the building there. Yeah, so I will be trying to obviously incorporate different bits of decoration in the middle. Probably like another tree there, for example, and things like that. But yeah, no, I'm quite liking how CBeebies is looking there. And then over this side, I have got to adjust the path, don't worry, because there is some more buildings over here that I've kind of got to squeeze in between that and the path there. But I think I can do it in... Because obviously the car ride takes up quite a big space. And it's not, it's not a ride that you can do small corners on. So I will have to kind of squeeze some buildings up here, I think. But I'll be able to do it in a way that works, I think, in my head. It might not be the exact size, but I can do it in a way that that I'm happy with. So yeah, that's where we are for now. Here you can see my little blueprints of the lollipop sign, the arrows, and the pedestrian crossing sign. Yeah, I'll be back shortly once that's all themed and once the buildings have been completed. Right then, here we go into the end of Cloud Cuckoo Land. So we're coming here. As you can see, I've kind of decorated or tried to fill some of the gaps within the path using trees and planters. I mean, there are trees and planters dotted around the area, so I've kind of done that as best I can. Didn't want to overdo it, so unfortunately, we all know the pathing system on this game. It is a little bit awkward, so there is a few gaps. I can't really do much other than spray it tarmac. So yeah, if you do notice any gaps, so that's why. The other thing to point out, just down here, this path, there is a curb on here in real life, so I turn the curbs on. However, because of the way the path kind of merges with other bits, you tend to get a few individual bits like this, and I can't quite get rid of them. And on top of that, you'll notice that, say, the curb here is manually put down, merging into the the sort of standard curb. That's because if you go to paths, and if I go, well, you can see there actually to turn curbs on. You can see there that if I put a curb down for that section, it does all of the other sections there because it's all one piece. And likewise, if I go over there, you can see all the other pieces. So I've had to manually do that, because that is the only way to get that looking like it does on Google Maps anyway. So yeah, that's just one thing to note. I do like to try and be honest in when I'm building this, that it's not perfect, and I think just because of the limitations in the game, it will it's going to be very difficult to be perfect, but I am trying to get it as accurate as possible. So yeah, that's why I like to try and be honest. So here, as we saw before, we've got a Venetian carousel with all the fencing done and colourful and painted. I'm actually quite pleased with how this kind of fits in. This is kind of just plonked in the middle of the pathway, and obviously I've had to build a queue line path and then build the sort of walkway path around, and I think it kind of works out quite well there. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. Here's the other buildings, just as you go along here. Now, these other buildings don't really do much. They're mainly just facades, as far as I'm aware, or at least they were in Cloud Cuckoo Land. And then you get to Frog Hopper. Now, Frog Hopper, as we know, is not a game that's in the. It's not a ride that's in the game. Not a game that's in the ride. It's not a ride that's in the game. This is it's a very small / junior drop tower. So yeah, I've just had to build that myself there with a little operator's booth there and a little control panel. Unfortunately, people just walk through because they're rude. Just walk straight through. Look at that. Pathetic. So yeah, so there's the queue line and just kind of space for that. Just along there. Now down here, I'm going to come to the main attraction shortly. Down here, we've got the photo section for the driving school. Down here, so you can come and collect photos and collect like your license and stuff after you've been on the ride down there. And then if we go over this way, Now, this is the only part where I've had to kind of squeeze because of the space, and it's mainly because of the size of the driving school. So there's actually the buildings are actually a little bit longer along here. Cuckoo goes back a little bit further. Now, in normal, obviously looking at it in normal time, in a normal ideal world, we would have more space to kind of build those buildings along. Unfortunately, because of the way everything else is laid out, I would have had to have moved the sky ride over here, which then would have got into the way of 13. The restaurant would have been moved over here, and it'd be a lot of reshuffling. Fairly happy with how these buildings have gone. It is just over here, where in between here and the driving school, there used to be an indoor trampoline place. I think it was called Wobble World. Wobble World. And now I believe this is the shop, and the building is used for the Gangster Granny ride. That's part of the David Walliams world. I'm building what was there previously in Cloud Cookie Land. So yeah, forgive me for that. That's just how space went, and I wasn't prepared to push it any further than I have done there. But yes, so the main attraction is the driving school. Now, I just want to take a moment to show you, or at least request a little bit of sympathy from you as to how long I spent placing every individual fencing piece along here. These are all the 1 meter fencing pieces, and I can tell you now that there is hardly any, apart from this bit we're looking at right now, there is hardly any straight sections on this road layout. So every individual piece has been put down separately and manually. None of the moves snap, none of the copy and paste, and it has been a long time working on this. So please do have a bit of sympathy for that. I appreciate it's not a main traction. I appreciate when this is finally done and I can upload it to the workshop, people aren't really going to take that that long of time to look at this. However, I do want to just point that out, because it's not the quickest thing to do. But yeah, other than that, this is the driving school. So you got some pedestrian crossings. You got a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of driving obstacles. So you got a lollipop lady. I don't know what you'd call them in America. It's someone who helps school children cross the road, basically. And she just goes out, or he goes out with a stick that says stop, and cars stop. And then you go through here. We've got a fire engine there. We've got some police cars over there. Got some trees. Got some traffic lights. I've just got a nice little mixture. Got lots of little lampposts to light up the area. And then coming through over here. So this is from the back of Hex. There is a pathway through here, and you can go up, and you can go over the driving school and down. Or if you require disabled access, there is a path around the back here. There's nothing along this back wall really, which is why it's kind of bare. There's not even any plants from what I can see on Google Maps. I'll be honest, it's not a part of the park I generally go to that often, so I don't know it myself that well, but that's what I can see on Google Maps, so that's what I'm going with. So that's really the driving school. We'll take a quick POV on it, just so you can have a look and see what the guests are experiencing. So just down here we've got the height marker. So in here you kind of go in. There's a green screen, so you have your photo done there with the camera, a little bit like on the Ice Age ride from the last episode, if you remember. So this photo kind of just takes your headshot, and then that'll be used for your driving license when you finish the ride. And you go through here, and yeah, so we'll hop on. I'm not sure which car's which. Oh, look at that, number 2. So these guys get off. Wait for the next lot to get on. Where are they? There we go. Hopped on, and off we go. So yeah, I mean, obviously, the way this ride tends to work is it's a children's ride. It's not one for adults, and they can operate and drive wherever they want on the driving school road. Obviously, they're trying not to collide with others, but it's not something. Again, it's not a ride that's in the game. So this is the best way around it. And I actually quite like how this has come out. I was a bit nervous as to how this would end up, but I am quite pleased with how it's turned out. Really pleased that I've discovered that the track can cross over itself, because if it couldn't, then it would have been a very tricky ride. So I'm very happy that the track for this car ride can cross over just like this, so that you can have these little junctions, because I think that makes a massive difference to this ride. But yeah, I mean, as I say, lots of different just scenery pieces. Lots of car themed scenery pieces, and just a general road layout. Not a lot more to say on this. As I say, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. And this is the end of the second map of my Alton Towers build, which is quite mad, to be honest. I'm only on about 69% on the build counter, so I'm not 100% on this one. However, because of where this is in the park, there we are, just finished. Because of where this is in the park, it kind of means that there's nowhere else to really extend it to. So, a bit of a recap on this map. Before this, we built the park entrance, Tower Street, CBeebies Land, Spinball Wizard, X Sector, all the way down here, and we built the towers. Once we finished that map, then we started on this one. I copied the towers over, which is what you can see here, and then we extended to go through this section. And first of all, we built Hex. Again, thanks to the amazing Boz Midget Slayer for these just astounding signs. So yeah, we built Hex, which is all in there. If you do want to go and see what Hex looks like inside, then go and have a look for that episode. You've got your Woodcutter's Bar and Grill in the middle, which is very popular because it's one of the only few food places in this park. Subscribe. And then over here we've got the Dark Forest. We've got some Midway games, got some food, got some more Midway games. And then this is where we've got the two coasters, obviously. So we have, first of all, we have Rita just here, where you can see the entrance. And then as you come underneath Rita, we have 13. So yeah, if you want to go and check out those episodes and see those in action, then by all means, that's everything's in a playlist. So if you do want to go and see how a certain ride came together, they're all done separately. So yeah, definitely go and have a look at that. And then following that, came over here, built the Sky Ride, built the restaurant, did the dungeons, which have now decorated now with a few flames. I've just got a little tree poking out here, which there we go, that's better. Dungeons with a few flames and gargoyles outside. And then as we come over from there, we've got the chair swing into Cloud Cuckoo Land, Ice Age 4D, which we have obviously the screen inside just here with the effects. And then moving along is what we just recapped. So the carousel, Frog Hopper, and the driving school. And that is map number 2. Now, map number 3, I can tell you, drum roll please, is going to be starting off with Mutiny Bay. I'm going to be moving over to Mutiny Bay next and building around that area, which will then lead on to the Wicker Man, which I know a lot of people have asked in the comments about. So yeah, the Wicker Man is coming up in the next couple of episodes. I'm very nervous to get that right because it's not an easy coaster to build that. I can tell you now that Rita is a lot easier to build than the Wicker Man's going to be. So yeah, so there'll be Mutiny Bay, the Wicker Man, going round over to Katanga Canyon, where we've got the River Rapids, the Runaway Train, going to Gloomy Wood, there's Duel. So yeah, there's a lot to come up in the next map. But yeah, if you have enjoyed that, as I say, thank you for the support so far. We're, I would say, halfway through the series. There's still a lot more to do, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm definitely going to be really, really pleased to see how this is all done when it all comes together right at the very end. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. As I say, if you have enjoyed, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new, and I shall see you in the next episode. Goodbye.